Hello and welcome to the Barefoot Podcast. My name's Doug Hark, and this is a special episode I'm doing for myself, and I know there's other men out there who, I know I'm not the only one, and you'll understand why when I share something in here. This has to do with father-son relationships, because something just happened to me a little while ago. I got a phone call. And it was actually 2 days ago. I was going over my goals and I kind of readjusted one of my goals and I just let it be. And boom, I got a phone call. And it was from my father. So a little bit of background here. My father and I, we have a relationship on and off. It wasn't really too close. He had his thing. He was in the military. I always looked up to him because he had his adventures about traveling around the world. That's what I aspired to. Then as I was growing up, he had a motorcycle and he would just take off on these adventures. I would go for day trips with him, but, a lot of it was just, I had this father that would go and do these things. And then when I got older, he got into hang gliding. He was one of the pioneers of hang gliding, one of the first to hang glide in Yosemite. Just incredible adventures. So I always looked up to these adventures of him. The other side of it was he was military, and somehow he was involved in nuclear. And I always had memories of men coming over late at night and them having discussions. I remember one night about waking up as a child and hearing this about Cuba and, nuclear bombs. I didn't know what was going on. So all of my life, there's been this military and politics. And then growing up, it was him and politics. So we have this strange relationship, and I say strained and strange relationships where I looked up to him, yet this area of politics always separated us. So now we get older and on again, off again relationship, due to the divorce of my parents. And then after my brother committed suicide, we really became distant. Something happened there. And we'd talk on and off. And a lot of times the phone calls would go into chaos around politics. No matter what I do, it would just deteriorate into politics, even if I don't even talk about it. So I haven't seen him in 20 years. We only have distant phone calls. Now he's really getting up in age, probably about 80, and Hark's really never lived past 40 to 50. He and I are the first to really live up to this age. So I decided I had to go see him. So finally I drove 9 hours up to Oregon to see him, and I had this worry about, oh no, I hope we don't go into politics. Maybe law of attraction there. I walk in, get to his place, I walk in, and it's like a movie. It's a dark hallway, and I look down, and I just see his silhouette, and it's this little old man. And I recognize it's him, and he comes down, and, he's happy to see me. And the second words out of his mouth, he starts talking about how he has lost so many friends because of this recent election. And I'm going, oh, wow, must have been his Republican friends because he's totally Democrat, he's for social issues. And he starts coming on about Trump, that he is for Trump, and he lost all of his friends because of this. Well, of course, because all of his friends are Democrat. So I did what I could to just keep away from that the whole time. And what happened was the rest of the evening was beautiful. We spent some lovely time. He showed me these he builds these little balsa wood planes. They're just out of this world what he does with these things. So we have a wonderful evening, and it ends where he goes off to bed, I go off to bed, and he tells me how it was such a beautiful night we had, and we say we love each other. And I'm just pleased, and so we go to bed. We wake up the next morning, have breakfast, and I can't remember what it was. Something around educations came up. And I remember to myself, oh, no. And I started doing everything I can to just talk about other wonderful things. And he started in with politics. And I know him, and I can tell he got wound up. And I would just sit there quietly listening to him, and he just kept getting wound up and wound up and wound up till his voice was raised, and I wasn't saying anything. And so finally I got in front of him and I go, Dad, I'm here for you. I just want to know that you love me. Please tell me, do you love me or do you love politics? Which is more important? And he just gives me this weird look and he starts just talking politics again. And so I repeated what I said again, maybe 2 or 3 times, and so maybe I was raising up my voice, but I was doing everything I could not to yell and to remain calm. Until next thing I know, he's saying to me, get out of here. And he literally told me, just get out. And I could tell from the tone there was nothing I could say. And he just, as I was leaving, he says, leave. Don't come back. Just leave. And so I left. As I say this, I guess I'm in a little bit of a trance there because it was surreal. So I started on my 9-hour drive back home, and within 30 minutes, because of this training and everything I've done, I resolved that it's okay, because you must realize my father has had a giant influence on my life, and man, if you don't see this, you probably see it, but understand, even at age 59, my father has an influence on me. A couple years ago, in Las Vegas, I was going for my dream. I was going to go for the world's record of walking on broken glass. I was able to get a meeting with people in the council there in Las Vegas because I had a plan how I was going to walk down the Las Vegas Strip on broken glass. I had it totally planned out. All of my friends who talked to me, when they questioned me, they go, you have it planned. So I was going for this dream. I talked to my father about it, and I posted a video of my training, and my father starts in with his fear. And he starts telling me about how glass gets in your foot and all of this stuff. And this is how powerful the father-son relationship is. I dropped everything. I quit. I didn't say anything. I just quit. And those of you who know me know I was posting those videos, and this is why I just dropped. I allowed the influence of my father to get to me. And so this is what I've been under all of these years. It may sound strange, a 59-year-old man still allowing the influence of his father. Yet, I'll share something that happened right after this. So now here I am driving home. I say to myself, I've resolved this. I've done everything I can. I'm going to start living my life. Because another note, my father loved me and was really proud of me when I had my refinishing business, my home improvement business of 29 years. Yet when I had to quit that because of an injury, and I wanted to go into coaching, which is not so visual to him, he really started looking down on me and kept putting it down and kept saying how I should get into my career, which I couldn't do. So he had this going on. So I have all of this pressure of not being who I want to be to try to please my father. So now I'm leaving, I'm driving home, and I remember because there was a stop where elk were, and it was like 30 minutes away, and when I stopped there, I resolved it and says, I love him. If he comes back, that's fine, but no longer will I be under this pressure. I am going to live my life the way I want to. And I did. I put it out of my mind, and I had a drive home focused on what I was going to do and how I was going to create my life. Now, here's where it gets a little strange and where I know that it's not just me. 2 nights later, I'm watching, or was it even, it was a couple nights later because it was the show Vikings I watch. And in it, there is a father-son in England, a king and his son. And the king is passing off his kingdom to the son. And there's a scene where everything's fine between them, and, the passing of power, yes, the son is trying to figure out what to do, but the son is literally sitting in front of him, and as I watch this, I'm going, did you guys read my mind? Because in this TV show, the son is in front of the father going, Father, do you love me? Let me know that you love me. And the king, the father, just looks off into space as though he couldn't even hear the son. And I'm having flashbacks of what was just happening to me back with my father. So this is why I'm sharing this, because I know I'm not the only male who has this thing with his father, wondering, do you really love me? Because also, the whole time I was there with my father kept repeating the same story over and over to me 4 times, the exact same story, and I let him do it. And the story was how he wished he could go back to his father and talk to his father and have time with his father. Because I can't realize or remember any stories that my father told me about him and his father really having close times. It was always stories about his father and how his father did things. And mostly it was about his father in politics with the town. So I believe my father just doesn't know how to love. Men are fathers of my generation. They weren't taught how to love. And I can tell my father wants to tell me he loves me. So now here I am. It's been a few months and I've been okay with it. Yeah, it's a bummer. Yet 2 nights ago, I'm going through my goals because I'm redoing all of this stuff in my life. And I come down to this old goal of reconnecting to my father. And so I just readjusted it. I am glad that I have the connection I have with my father, and I will be okay with whatever comes forth. And this was just 2 nights ago. Tonight, I get a phone call from my father, and it's him. And right off the bat, he says, "Doug, I apologize for what I did and said. My father has had strokes. He's not in good times." And so he apologized because he goes, he's just not with it. And hearing that, it just touched my heart. And so I told him, "Of course it's okay, Dad." I go, "All that was going on that night is I just want to let you know I love you." And he said back to me that he loved me. If you've got a father and you can, let him know you love him. Maybe it won't get through, but they hear you. Because for men, it's hard to love. And this is why I know this is my mission in life, to spread love, to let people know how to love. Because just tonight, hearing my father say that, it means so much to him. And it means so much to me. And I know it means a lot to him. So I'm going to reconnect with my father. Actually, when I was up there, I was trying to figure out how I could move up there to be with him. It's in this town of Florence. And honestly, right now, I'm starting my entire life over. I am at ground zero. Yet amazing things are happening. My Reiki teacher, who I lost touch with and we lost connection, she just connected with me last night. So amazing things are happening. I just have to open my heart, open my mind, open up to the universe, because something's happening. I wanted to share this because, again, like I keep saying, I know I'm not the only man out there who's going through this. There is a father-son connection, whether you can see it or not. We're always trying to please our father, yet we have to realize that just living our life for ourselves, it's ultimately how we'll please a father. So don't listen to what they say. Just do from your heart what you know what's doing right. And again, if you can, connect with your father. Because I don't have my mom. My father's all I have. And so I'm grateful that I have this connection with him. And so I'll give him a call here back in the next couple days. So that's it. Take care.